Hi there. I'd like to introduce you to George Schmalstig. I've known George for 3 or 4 years, and it's just somebody that I've really looked up to, leaned on for great professional advice. And George, I just want to have a conversation with you today about what the future looks like for Citrus County, for property appraiser's office, elections, and so on.
Well, with an introduction like that, obviously, I'm totally down for a conversation with you,
Yeah,
that's for sure. So, Craig, I appreciate the opportunity to have some dialogue with you. It's something I enjoy doing, whether it's on my vodcast, Small Talk, or just in the community at any point in time talking to people. And you know that I'm a guy that really just wants to empower people in our community. I mean, it's just part of what I do. It's the main thing that I'm doing in my nonprofit. So, how do you empower people in our community in the role of property appraiser? Because you're the only person so far that I've heard a talk about getting out in front. Getting out in front. Like someone might have plans for some property 5, 10 years from now. Getting out there, equipping people with information, really empowering them. And I'd like to hear you talk about that a little bit. How do you really get out there as property appraiser and empower the citizens in the community? Because a lot of them don't even know what the property appraiser does.
yeah. I think empowering the public is in so many different ways we can do that. It really comes from education, whether it be in a physical sense, like a pamphlet, right, or whether we're putting good information on our internet, on the property appraiser's internet website, or actually getting out and talking to the public. I know a lot of other property appraisers websites around the state actually will give like a tax estimator. That's a key element of educating the public, empowering our residents. I know one of the biggest things that is in society and in the communities today is the internet, right? You can learn how to change a carburetor in a car, right? So why can't we teach them or educate them on, hey, this is what your taxes are going to look like next year. If we have a resident that moves down from Ohio and buys a house, what are their taxes going to be next year, the following year? And we can kind of give them an estimator. And it's not going to be an exact science, but just an estimator of what they could be paying for. Just empowering those residents. Teaching. We're constantly teaching. We're constantly learning, and we need to an elected official, we need to educate our public, and that's really what I want to do.
So I recently bought a house, and I got to tell you, it never even occurred to me when I showed up with my wife and my children, and we're looking at this house, and it has a pool, right? We want a pool, and this is the right neighborhood, and all this. It never even occurs to me, well, maybe I should maybe go to the property appraiser's office and look around on that website, find the property. Like that never even comes into my frame of reference in terms of purchasing that house. So, like, if you were to advise me, I were to go back, right, to late last year before I bought that house, and I were to actually go to the property appraiser's website, or maybe even make a phone call to the property appraiser's office to try to get information to help me make this decision. Like, what information would I even be looking for?
Well, a lot of the information that you're going to get on our property appraiser's website, which is a really well put together website right now, you're going to be able to find out your lot dimensions, what the taxes are, the square footage of the house, both under air and not under air, what the square footage of your pool is. There's all kinds of information you're going to be able to find there. You can actually find out what houses sold in that neighborhood. When you're buying a house, you're going to get a fee appraiser to do a fee appraisal on your house, which is important. A bank's going to require that, but you also are empowered with that information because you know what homes have been sold in that area, recent sales in that area, which is very important, which is very vital. So again, just giving you that information, it'll tell you what what the tax bill was for that year for that home. Now your tax bill the following year or the year after could be different, which is where that tax estimator can come into play. But there's a lot of good, useful information. What I also want to do as the next property appraiser is have a really good relationship with the realtors in our county. Really have a good liaison between the property appraiser's office and the realtors. and that can give information to our buyers of new home or buy of homes. And so that way we're all on the same sheet of music. There's no questions. And we can answer questions. And maybe if there's an error on our website or with our information, we can fix that so it's done correctly. We want to make sure that we're accurate, kind of like a checks and balances. But it's just, again, giving more information to our community. We want to make sure we're staying advanced in our technology, how fast we're uploading information to the website, and just reaching our community.
Yeah, so I'm sure that realtors now, they call the office to get information, but you're talking about really taking it to the next level, having like a dedicated person.
Right.
Like
yeah.
that is the point of contact for all realtors. They're getting a consistent. It's like if I call the IRS as a business owner, I can call with the same question and talk to five
Right.
different people and get 5 different answers. So it sounds like a liaison would probably be helpful.
Yeah, there's just one point of contact, like you said. I know that all of our citizens, whether they're businesses or residents or farmers, that they're all equally as important, right? But our realtors are trying to sell homes to people moving in our community. So having that liaison within our property appraisers website, somebody they can email, somebody they can call, somebody they can go visit, is important to have that one person that all of our realtors can go talk to. I think myself as being the property appraiser and that liaison can get out and get to the Realtors Association, go out and meet with the realtors' offices, all scattered around Citrus County, and just really educating all those offices on what we can do, the services we can provide those realtors, and the services we can provide to our new residents.
Yeah.
That's important.
So when you think about equipping people with information, I think like traditionally what happens with our politicians locally, and this is a good thing, they go around to the different civic organizations as they're invited,
Right.
and different groups, and they give a presentation, right, on what's happening now with the county commissioner, what's happening now at this particular office or whatnot. I have found it's a little bit more efficient, maybe for me and some of my ventures, to utilize the internet and to get my message out, whether it's through Facebook, YouTube, whatever the case may be. Are there other property appraisers around the state that utilize Facebook, YouTube, or anything like that you've encountered where people are getting their message out, not just at a little meeting here and there,
Right.
which is valuable, but more broadly to the general public?
Yeah, if you look at your larger counties, you look at Broward County specifically, you can go to Broward County. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he has little videos that he puts out on YouTube, that he puts out on their social media, and just updating, just little nuggets of information to get that out. I think having the knowledge and the ability to reach our community, especially in a pandemic, right? We're in a pandemic, not a lot of people are getting out in the public. So what better way to reach our citizens than to do little videos, put them on our social media, put them out on YouTube, and just the different faucets that we can reach our community to make everybody safe. And then we're giving them information as well. So it is starting to trend that way. You look at Orange County, they're doing that as well. I know that Lake County is starting to do some things with Kerry Baker. He's doing those things, those same things. So that's important for me to get that information out.
And would there be room for the public to sort of drive that discourse even, if the public says, listen, these are the top things that we need information on,
right?
Would the office be able to really tailor the message to meet that demand?
Yeah, we can. Those things evolve. Our the community issues evolve, right? But the facts of everything that the property appraiser does and the office does is pretty fluid, right? It stays the same. Like most people want to know, hey, what are my exemptions? What can I do to get my exemptions? What's going to be my tax? What's the tax roll going to be approved? When are our tax bills go? When do our trim notices come out? Stuff like that. So there's a lot of good information that we can put out in little 30-second, 1 minute, 5 minute clips that can get out. And then actually going out, I believe, as a property appraiser and speaking with groups and putting those messages out. Even if we did a live podcast with the video, if I'm meeting with a civic organization, that's important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I sum up basically what I'm hearing from you right now, it's just good old fashioned customer service.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Listen, I know that the team at the property appraiser's office does a great job with reaching our community. I want to continue that, enhance that ability, especially again going back to the pandemic thing. We need to be able to reach our community to make sure their questions are still being answered, whether it via phone call, via email, or stuff like that.
Yeah, being that I sold a house recently, late last year, bought a new one, I had interaction face to face with the property appraiser's office probably about 4 times. I would say, getting in there on the very last day to get that homestead exemption paperwork filed, and meeting the gentleman that came to the new house to take a look around the property. And I got to tell you, everyone was absolutely fantastic. So you don't know what you don't know, right? And there's a lot of things about the property appraiser's office like I just don't know. And I've had some interaction with them, and it's been great interaction as I've sold a house and bought a house. But it does occur to me after going through that process that there's a lot more for me to know about the property appraiser's office, and what are the functions of the property appraiser's office. And maybe if I were equipped with that information, I might be able to get out ahead of certain things.
Yeah, it goes back to that really strong relationship between the realtors association and the property appraiser's office. And if we can provide them or empower them with information, they can help be our little avenues of information to the new home buyers, to the new residents that are moving into Citrus County. So everybody has the same information. We can have that open dialogue, and so it's important to continue that open communication.
Tell me, as a deputy, I got to think that equipping people with information and getting out ahead of things like that has to be a critical part of what you do right now. So it seems to me like the transition from that mode of service as a deputy over into the property appraiser, it's not going to be a far stretch in terms of that principle of getting out ahead of things, communicating clearly with people. Right. Talk to me a little bit about how you see the parallel between those two.
Yeah, so like you're talking about and empowering people. We actually, I'm currently a West Operations Sergeant, so I'm responsible for a lot of the quality of life issues on the west side of the county. A lot of our community crimes type stuff. The reason we are successful in reducing crime on the west side of the county is we will actually go out and we will meet with the HOAs, the civic organizations, different neighborhoods, different avenues of PSAs per se, and educate them. Okay, listen, if you leave your lights on, if you leave, you pick up your newspapers, if you have somebody pick up your newspapers, if you're on vacation, have somebody pick up your mail, there's avenues that citizens or residents can protect themselves from the criminal element. That's what we do to educate them. And if we do the same thing from the property appraiser's office to the residents, to the new homeowners, if we give them that information to protect their asset, to protect their future income, their earnings, or provide them with the information on how or what exemptions they can qualify for, then we're protecting them as a whole. So in theory, it is the same, and it will transition well for me because I'm able to educate and get out and speak to the public.
So Craig, you talked to me about running for property appraiser quite a while ago, and and other people in the community know that there's been times where I have helped candidates run for office, and it can be sort of a grueling thing, right? Certainly on your side of things, but even as someone who's helping, and it's a really easy thing for a guy like me to just say, no, I got a lot of things going on. But when you asked me about my thoughts on you being the property appraiser and making that campaign or making the run for it, I just knew I had to be involved. Yeah, absolutely. Because first of all, you're a straight shooter, man. Very honest, and I also would say, aside from honesty, you're earnest as well. Like, you're a guy who I know wants to do the best possible job, and not just for yourself, but for the people that are around you. To do the best job for your family, to do the best job for those kids in the mentoring program that you're running, for the citizens in our community that you are out there putting sometimes your life on the line in a difficult world right now. And so as a guy who really loves his community, for a guy who loves leadership as well, I know that you're the right guy for this job. And I love the fact that when I hear the candidates talk, there's a lot of resumes that are given, and that's good, right? A candidate needs to express their resume, right? We all need to know who they are. But you've done a great job not only balancing your resume, but also your love for the community and your commitment to the people and the citizens in this community. Whether that's as a guy leading a mentoring program, a guy who is putting on that uniform every day and serving our community as a deputy, or as a guy who's going to go to the property appraiser's office and lead. I know it, man. I feel it. You're the right guy for this job.
Awesome, man. I can't thank you enough for all your mentoring over the years, and like you just talked about, shifting one uniform to the next, and I would bring that same integrity and honor and commitment to Citrus as the next property appraiser. So I appreciate your time, George, and I hope you have a great day, man.
All right.
Thanks, bud.